Good morning, Griffins. Congratulations on making it through your very first week of virtual learning. I want to tell you guys how proud I am of you. You've done an amazing job this week. I'm very impressed with all of your work that you've been turning in. Today, we're going to split our lesson into two sections, English and in Spanish. So if you're in Mr. Ibarra's class and you need it in Spanish, you can skip through my section and get the same thing with him. We're going to be working out of your science books today. I know it's not the most exciting thing to do, but there is a lot of important information I want you guys to get. I'm going to ask that you complete a couple of questions on notebook paper and then snap a picture to me so I can see what you've done. The second part is very, very important. Underneath the YouTube video in the descriptions box, I want you to click on the science link, and it's going to take you to a survey to answer a couple of questions for me and your other teachers about your first week of virtual learning. Let's go ahead and get started. Follow along to the read aloud of chapter number 8 in our science books. Throughout the video, I'm going to ask you to pause and answer the following questions. Question number 1, 2, 4, 6, and 12. At the end of this video, you'll see the number to text your work to.
Environmental changes. All organisms live in particular environments where their needs are met. An environment is all of the conditions surrounding an organism. Environments may be hot or cold, and on land or in water. Environments change naturally as resources change. For example, a population of millipedes lives in an environment with dead plant matter. As the population grows, it needs more food, water, and living space. As these resources decrease, each millipede will have less food, water, and space. Some millipedes will die or move away. More resources will be available for the remaining millipedes. The population will grow, and the cycle will start again. Species must change to take advantage of new opportunities and protect themselves from new dangers in a changed environment. 1. Explain. Puddles like this may be home to frogs, fish, worms, or fairy shrimp. Which of these animals might be able to survive after the puddle is dry? Why? This puddle has been drying up for some time, and the mud around it is cracking as it dries. Two, cause and effect. Use the graphic organizer to list one cause and one effect from the text. Cause. Effect.
Pause the video and answer number 1 and 2 in your notebook paper.
Life in a modern American city requires a lot of resources and generates a lot of waste. Getting those resources and disposing of wastes causes environmental changes. Making informed choices in the disposal of materials helps conserve ecosystems. Forests are being cut to plant crops and to make wood products such as lumber and paper. When the forests are removed, the forest ecosystem is destroyed. Huge landfills are built to bury trash or waste. Many kinds of waste, such as batteries, have to be disposed of carefully so that they do not cause environmental damage. Sometimes toxic materials are accidentally released into the environment. This happens in oil spills. Fish, birds, and other organisms are affected by such spills. Mining for copper, sulfur, and other natural resources causes environmental changes. Many of these resources can be recycled to reduce environmental damage. Slow changes. Sometimes environments change very slowly. For example, the climate in a region may become drier and drier over thousands of years. This has happened in the Sahara, which has had both wet and dry periods in the past. Seasons change slowly every year. This gives animals time to grow winter fur. Plants have time to grow new leaves for the summer. The continents also changed their position over millions of years. For example, Antarctica used to be much closer to the equator and much warmer. Rocks are slowly broken down by the weather and by plants and animals. They become part of the soil. Very slowly, the orange lichens growing on this rock are helping break down the rock to form new soil. Fast changes. Hurricanes, floods, and fires, along with volcanic eruptions and earthquakes, are natural events that can quickly change the environment. A hurricane's strong winds can rip up trees and flatten plants. Heavy rains and huge waves can flood a coastal community. When lightning strikes a tree, it can start a forest fire that burns almost everything in its path. These rapid changes may force species to leave the area because the resources they need are no longer available. 3. Underline 2 examples of slow environmental changes. Circle 2 examples of fast changes. 4. Give an example. What is another type of fast environmental change? A volcano can quickly destroy or bury many organisms, but it can also cover the soil with nutrients that other organisms can use.
Pause the video and answer only number 4 on notebook paper.
Changes caused by organisms. Organisms themselves may alter their environment as they feed, grow, and build their homes. For example, locusts are insects that travel in large groups called swarms. The members of these large swarms can quickly eat all the plants in large fields and destroy farm crops. After locusts pass through, an area that was green and full of plants will look dead and bare. Plants also cause changes. In fact, plants affect the quality of the air for the entire planet. They absorb carbon dioxide from the air and release oxygen back into the atmosphere. 5. Suggest. What kind of animal might benefit from a locust swarm? A swarm of locusts can be many kilometers long and eat tons of plant matter. A water mold is using this potato for food. The water mold starts consuming the potato in the field. An entire crop can be destroyed before it can be harvested. A healthy potato has cream-colored flesh. This microscopic organism is a water mold. It uses the leaves, stems, and potatoes as food. This water mold destroyed potato crops in Ireland during the 1800s and caused widespread famine. When a single type of plant is grown close together, it is easy for organisms to go from plant to plant. An entire crop can be destroyed in a short period of time. Changes caused by humans. Humans are one of the most important causes of environmental change. We change the land to plant crops, build dams to get energy, fish to get food, and clear forests to get construction materials. We change the environment when we build buildings and highways and when we burn fuel. There are many ways in which we can reduce the impact of human activity on the environment. For example, tunnels have been built in some places with busy traffic so that animals can cross from one side of the road to the other without getting hit by cars. We can recycle things like paper or construction materials to reduce the number of trees we cut down. 6. Classify. Look at the picture of a farm on this page. What parts of this environment probably were not there before people arrived? 7. Predict the effects of changes in ecosystems caused by living organisms, including humans, in the case of a forest being removed to plant crops. Farming often requires flat land with no trees or rocks.
Pause the video and answer only number 6 on notebook paper. Do not do number 7.
Adapting to changes. Changes that are harmful for some organisms may be beneficial for others. A forest fire destroys trees and bushes that help protect the soil from being washed away by rainwater. In addition, a forest fire adds smoke and carbon dioxide to the atmosphere and destroys the habitats of many animals. However, a forest fire may also help organisms in a forest. A forest fire clears away dead and dying plant matter, making room for new plants to grow. It also returns nutrients to the soil in the form of ashes. In any environment, resources are limited. The struggle of organisms for the same limited resources is called competition. Organisms must succeed in this struggle in order to survive. The thick bark of the sequoia tree protects it from the fire. This bark helps the sequoia tree survive in its environment. Some trees, such as the Table Mountain pine, have sealed cones that open only with the heat of a fire. Some seeds only start to grow when there is smoke. The growing parts of grasses are underground. They can quickly grow back after a fire. This helps them in the competition for nutrients. Survival. In any species of plant or animal, there are differences among individuals. A plant that has deeper roots than other plants may be able to reach deeper into the soil to get water. An animal that runs a little faster than others of its kind has a better chance of escaping from a predator. Even a small advantage can help a plant or animal survive. Only the individuals that survive will be able to reproduce and pass along their beneficial characteristics to their offspring. Resurrection plants can survive very dry seasons because they can dry up without dying. The plant below is the same plant as above, only one day after being watered. The wood frog can survive the winter because its body can be frozen without killing the frog.
Answer number 12 in notebook paper. Think about what you learned in this lesson. Give an example of how a change in the environment can affect the way living things interact. Once you've completed questions 1, 2, 4, 6, and 12, look at the next slide to see what number you need to text your work to. You also have an additional assignment to take a survey on one of the links underneath the YouTube video. Take a picture of your work for today and text it to the number that you see on the screen. Stick around for the next slide so that you can see part 2 of your assignment. Great job today, guys. For part 2 of your assignment, what you're going to do is look under the YouTube video and click on the science link. It's going to bring you to a survey where I ask you a couple of questions just about what you've been up to during this time off from school, what you're missing about school, and also really important, are these video lessons easy for you to complete or are they difficult? I can't wait to hear from you all. I will be keeping track of who is completing and who is not. I hope you have a great weekend.
Guys, we're going to be doing something different today. For Friday's assignment, you're going to read a section of the chapter on ecosystems, and you can answer some questions on your journal or on a sheet of paper. Que van a leer una parte del capítulo de ecosistemas y me van a contestar unas preguntas que les voy a leer y también van a estar ahí donde lo pueden ver ustedes. Pero vamos a empezar con la pregunta número 1.
Cambios medioambientales. Todos los organismos viven en medioambientes particulares donde satisfacen sus necesidades. Un medio ambiente son todas las condiciones que rodean a un ser vivo. Un medio ambiente puede ser cálido o frío y puede estar en la tierra o en el agua. Los medioambientes cambian naturalmente cuando cambian sus recursos. Por ejemplo, una población de 1000 pies vive en un medio ambiente con materia vegetal muerta. A medida que crece la población, necesita más alimento, agua y espacio. Al disminuir los recursos, cada 1000 pies tendrá menos alimento, agua y espacio. Algunos 1000 pies morirán o se irán a otro lugar. Entonces habrá más recursos para los 1000 pies que queden. La población crecerá y el ciclo comenzará otra vez. Los organismos deben cambiar para aprovechar las oportunidades nuevas y para protegerse de los peligros nuevos que surgen en el medio ambiente que ha cambiado. 1. Explica. En charcos como este pueden habitar ranas, gusanos y camarones. ¿Qué animal podrá sobrevivir después de que el charco se seque? ¿Por qué? Este charco se ha estado secando durante algún tiempo y el lodo que lo rodea se agrieta al secarse. 2. Causa y efecto. Usa el organizador gráfico para enumerar una causa y un efecto del texto.
Ahora aquí están las preguntas. Pregunta número 1. Explica. En charcos como este pueden habitar ranas, gusanos y camarones. ¿Qué animal podría sobrevivir después de que el charco se seque? ¿Por qué? Pregunta número 2. Causa y efecto. Usa el organizador gráfico para enumerar una causa y un efecto de texto.
La vida en una ciudad moderna de los Estados Unidos demanda muchos recursos y genera muchos desechos. Obtener esos recursos y eliminar los desechos causa cambios medioambientales. Tomar decisiones informadas acerca de la eliminación de los materiales ayuda a conservar los ecosistemas. Los bosques se talan para sembrar cultivos y para elaborar productos a partir de la madera, tales como la madera para la construcción y el papel. Cuando se tala un bosque, se destruye el ecosistema del bosque. Se crean enormes rellenos sanitarios para enterrar la basura y los desechos. Muchos tipos de desechos, tales como las baterías, deben ser eliminados con sumo cuidado para no causar daños medioambientales. En ocasiones se liberan accidentalmente materiales tóxicos en el medio ambiente. Esto sucede con los derrames de petróleo. Los peces, las aves y otros organismos se ven afectados por dichos derrames. La minería del cobre, del azufre y de otros recursos naturales causa cambios medioambientales. Muchos de estos recursos pueden reciclarse para reducir el daño medioambiental. Cambios lentos. A veces, los medioambientes cambian muy lentamente. Por ejemplo, el clima de una región puede volverse cada vez más seco en el transcurso de miles de años. Esto ha ocurrido en el Sahara, que ha tenido períodos húmedos y secos en el pasado. Las estaciones cambian lentamente todos los años. Esto le da tiempo al animal para que le crezca el pelaje de invierno. Las plantas tienen tiempo de generar hojas nuevas para el verano. Los continentes también cambian su posición en el transcurso de millones de años. Por ejemplo, la Antártida estaba más cerca del Ecuador y era más cálida. El clima, las plantas y los animales descomponen lentamente las rocas. Se vuelven parte del suelo. Los líquenes anaranjados que crecen lentamente en esta roca están ayudando a descomponer la roca para formar suelo nuevo. Cambios rápidos. Los huracanes, las inundaciones y los incendios, junto con las erupciones volcánicas y los terremotos, son fenómenos naturales que pueden cambiar rápidamente un medio ambiente. Los vientos fuertes de un huracán pueden arrancar árboles y aplastar plantas. Las lluvias copiosas y las olas gigantes pueden inundar una comunidad costera. Cuando un rayo cae sobre un árbol, puede iniciar un incendio forestal que quema casi todo a su paso. Estos cambios rápidos pueden forzar a las especies a abandonar un área porque los recursos que necesitan ya no están disponibles. Un volcán puede destruir o enterrar rápidamente muchos organismos, pero también puede cubrir el suelo con nutrientes que pueden usar otros organismos.
Número 4. Da un ejemplo. ¿Qué otro tipo de cambio rápido del medio ambiente puedes mencionar?
Cambios causados por organismos. Los organismos pueden alterar el medio ambiente por sí mismos cuando se alimentan, crecen y construyen sus hogares. Por ejemplo, las langostas son insectos que viajan en grupos grandes llamados enjambres. Los miembros de esos enjambres grandes pueden comer rápidamente las plantas de un campo sembrado y destruir las cosechas. Después del paso de las langostas, un área que era verde y estaba llena de plantas se verá muerta y sin vegetación. Las plantas también pueden causar cambios. De hecho, las plantas influyen en la calidad del aire de todo el planeta. Absorben el dióxido de carbono del aire y lo devuelven a la atmósfera. Sí. Un enjambre de langostas puede tener varios kilómetros de largo y puede comer toneladas de materia vegetal. Una papa saludable tiene la pulpa de color crema. Este hongo usa la papa como alimento. El hongo comienza a consumir la papa en el campo. Una cosecha completa puede verse destruida antes de que pueda cosecharse. Este organismo microscópico es un hongo que afecta a los cultivos de la papa. Usa las hojas, los tallos y las papas como alimento. Este hongo destruyó cultivos de papas en Irlanda en el siglo XIX y causó una gran hambruna. Cuando el mismo tipo de planta se siembra a poca distancia, es fácil que los organismos vayan de una planta a otra. Una cosecha completa puede verse destruida en un corto periodo de tiempo. Cambios causados por seres humanos. Los seres humanos causan los cambios más importantes que se producen en el medio ambiente. Cambiamos la tierra para cultivar, construimos diques para obtener energía eléctrica, pescamos para obtener alimento y talamos bosques para obtener materiales de construcción. Cambiamos el medio ambiente cuando construimos edificios y carreteras y cuando quemamos combustible. Hay muchas formas de reducir el impacto de la actividad humana sobre el medio ambiente. Por ejemplo, se han construido túneles en algunos lugares con mucho tráfico para que los animales puedan cruzar de un lado a otro de la carretera sin que los carros los atropellen. Podemos reciclar cosas, tales como el papel o los materiales de construcción, para reducir el número de árboles que talamos. 6. Clasifica. Mira la foto de la granja de esta página. ¿Qué partes de este medio ambiente probablemente no estaban antes de que llegaran las personas? La agricultura generalmente requiere tierras planas, sin árboles ni rocas.
Pregunta número 6. Clasifica. Mira la foto de la granja de esta página. ¿Qué partes de este medio ambiente probablemente no estaban antes de que llegaron las personas?
Adaptación a los cambios. Los cambios que son dañinos para algunos organismos pueden ser beneficiosos para otros. Un incendio forestal destruye los árboles y los arbustos que ayudan a evitar que la lluvia arrase el suelo. Además, el incendio forestal agrega humo y dióxido de carbono a la atmósfera y destruye los hábitats de muchos animales. Sin embargo, el incendio forestal también puede beneficiar a algunos organismos del bosque. El incendio forestal despeja el suelo de la materia vegetal muerta o moribunda y así crea espacio para que crezcan plantas nuevas. También devuelve nutrientes al suelo en forma de ceniza. En cualquier medio ambiente, los recursos son limitados. La lucha entre los organismos por los mismos recursos limitados se llama competencia. Para sobrevivir, los organismos deben ser capaces de competir por los recursos. La gruesa corteza de las secuoyas las protege del fuego. Esta corteza ayuda a que las secuoyas logren sobrevivir en este medio ambiente. Crecen cuando hay humo. Algunos árboles, como el pícea azul, tienen conos sellados que solo se abren con el calor de un incendio. La parte del pasto que lo hace crecer está bajo tierra. Puede crecer rápidamente después de un incendio. Esto beneficia al pasto en la competencia por los nutrientes. Supervivencia. En cualquier especie animal o vegetal existen diferencias entre los individuos. Una planta que tiene raíces más profundas que otras plantas puede alcanzar agua que está a mayor profundidad bajo el suelo. Un animal que corre un poco más rápido que otros de su misma especie tiene más posibilidades de sobrevivir al ataque de un predador. Incluso una ventaja muy pequeña puede ayudar a un animal o a una planta a sobrevivir. Solo los individuos que sobreviven se reproducirán y transmitirán sus características beneficiosas a su descendencia. La rana de la madera puede sobrevivir el invierno porque su cuerpo puede congelarse sin que la rana
Piensa en lo que has aprendido en esta lección. Da un ejemplo de cómo un cambio en el medio ambiente puede afectar la forma en que interactúan los seres vivos.
If you're in Mystery Bada's class, please send your chapter work to the following phone number on the screen. Great job, Griffins. Mystery Bada's class, I do want you completing the survey as well, so if you look underneath the YouTube video, you'll find a science link. I want you to click on it. All the questions are in Spanish, and if you feel more comfortable responding in Spanish, that's okay, because Miss Felsen and Mystery Bada can see your answers too.
Hey Griffins, happy Friday. I miss you so much. I just want to start off by telling you I'm so proud of you. The turnaround with your assignments has been amazing this week. I've gotten texts, I've gotten phone calls for clarification, so I wanted to remind you that if you need help, please call me, okay? With your parents' permission, call me or text me if you need me to reread something, or if you need me to explain something a little bit better, if you need me to go through the process with you of eliminating answers, I will be more than happy to. Okay, you can call me, text me throughout the day, even when your parents are home in the evening, I'm available, okay? But I'm so proud of you. I miss you so much. And just a reminder that when instead of submitting your answers through a picture over text message, now you're going to be doing quizzes just like you're doing for science. So there's going to be a link below that you click on and you submit your answers. Please make sure that you put your first and your last name, or at least your first name and initial, so that I know who it is, okay? I miss you all so much, and I hope you have a great weekend. Bye, guys.
Okay, let's go ahead and get started with today's lesson. We will be working on Unit 14. Our learning target is you will be able to recognize characteristics and structures of informational text Remember, informational means nonfiction, including features such as insets, timelines, and sidebars to support understanding. We will also analyze the author's use of print and graphic features to achieve specific purposes. So basically, what we're going to be focusing on today is text features. Go ahead and turn your books to page 230. Okay, the first thing we have there is our reader's tips. I want you to go ahead and pause the video, and I want you to take some time to read this page, and then I'm going to go over a few key things with you before we get started on today's story. Okay, now that you've read the page, I'm just going to go over each print feature and graphic feature that they have here. So examples of print features, we have heading, bold print, italics, bullets, caption, and pronunciation guide. Examples of graphic features, we have illustration, map, chart, timeline, diagram, graph, inset, and sidebar. So basically the difference between the left-hand side and the right-hand side is that the right-hand side is some type of visual, okay? I don't want to say it's a picture. Don't say it's a picture because they're not all pictures, but it's some type of visual. It's very important for you to make sure that as you're reading any type of story that has text features, you need to make sure that you don't just skip over those text features. If it's a photograph, look at the photograph. Tell yourself what you see in there, what's going on. If it's a heading, don't skip over it. If it's an inset or a sidebar, anything that is in a story is there for a reason. The author's including it to give you some type of information. It doesn't have to have any words in order for it to give you information. So when you're reading, you need to make sure that you're examining all these text features because all of those text features are there for a reason and give us a ton of information. As you're reading the story that we're going to be reading today, or really any informational text, I want you to think about these questions. Number one, what is the text about? What is it informing you about? It's giving you information about something. Number two, what print features are present in the text? So again, your print features are the headings, italics, the captions, okay? And what is the purpose of those features? Number three, what graphic features are present in the text? So your maps, your diagrams, your insets, your charts, your photographs, and what is the purpose of those? Number four, how do the print and graphic features relate to the information provided in the text? So they're not going to put, if they're in the story, they're talking about dogs, they're not going to put a picture of a bird, right? So it's related to the information in the story and they're connected in some way. And then number five, how do the features and the words of the text work together to support the author's purpose and meaning of the text? So the author's writing the story to inform you of something. How do the text features help us understand the lesson or the information, that the author's trying to provide to us? Okay, so let's go ahead and look at page 231. Go ahead and label our NAG, RQPC, and then NAG there at the bottom. So again, today I'm going to go ahead and do the first R with you. And then you're going to do NAG R, just like the other two lessons. And then I'm going to read the questions and answer choices to you. You're going to go through the process of getting your answers, and then you'll be submitting your answers on quizzes. Okay, I want you to follow along with me in your book as I do the first R. Hooked on architecture. Modern trend tied to past. Reclaimed materials are one of the most popular design elements in architecture today. From roof beams to flooring tiles, repurposed building materials add charm and function to new construction. One of the earliest architects to use recycled materials was also one of America's first female architects. Old and new, indoors and out. Mary Rockwell Hooke began her career in 1906. As an apprentice, Hooke was known for her original designs using reused materials. Hooke's home included a railroad bridge that once stretched across the Kansas River. She used natural stone and wood in her designs. These materials were collected on site. Hooke's personal style included arched windows and interior doorways that brought a natural feel to indoor spaces. Look at the right-hand side there next to paragraph 2. We have a photograph there. So I want you to take a second to think, why did the author include that photograph? What do we see in it? What is its purpose? Okay, let's move on to paragraph 3. Challenges met. Hooke considered rugged landscapes as challenge instead of an obstacle. Designing hillside homes became her specialty. Hooke continued to design homes and buildings until her late 70s. The American Institute of Architects had once denied her membership because she was a woman, but they honored Hooke for her contributions to the industry on her 100th birthday. Hooke's legacy as a pioneer still lives on today. Let's take a look at the left-hand side there. We have words to know. On site is in bold letters, and then it gives me the definition. Found at the location. Pioneer, the definition, the first of its kind. And then the third one is reclaimed, retrieved or recovered to use again. So I want to pause right here. What is the purpose of this text feature? One thing I do want you to do before we go on to the questions is let's label the text features we do have here. So we said that this right here is a photograph, so I need you to label it with me. And then this right here is a sidebar, so label it sidebar. Do we see any other text features? Even though they're not actual visuals, we do see print feature here, print feature here, print feature here, right? And these are all headings or subheadings. So heading, heading, and another heading. Now I want you to think, what is the purpose of headings and subheadings? We've talked about it a lot in class, but I just want you to refresh your memory. Why would the author include them? Daisy was listening to me read as she was laying down. Daisy. We're going to go ahead and get started on the questions on page 232. I do want to remind you that now we are moving to submitting your answers on quizzes. So the expectation is still for you to highlight your keywords in your in your questions and your answer choices, find your proof, all that stuff. You still need to show your work and get your answer. And then when we're done, you're going to click on the link that's below the YouTube video, and then you're going to just submit your answers online. That way you have immediate feedback, you know what your grade is, and it's easier for me to keep track of who completed it. All right, let's take a look at number 1. Number 1 says the headings help the reader. So it's asking about your text features, but specifically it's asking about the headings, which we've already labeled. So right now I want you to go back and I want you to reread each heading. So now that you went back and you reread the headings, and then you also had some think time a little while ago when I asked you why would the author include these, and that's going to help you answer this question. So I'm going to read it with the answer choices. As I'm reading the answer choices, make sure you are highlighting those key words. Number 1, the headings help the reader A, understand unfamiliar vocabulary in the text, B, quickly locate the key details in the text, C, identify the important events in Hook's life, or D, visualize the materials Hook used in her architectural designs. Please make sure you are highlighting keywords in these answer choices. Okay, let's move on to number 2. Which sentence from the text is best supported by the photograph? So they're already telling you that the sentence is coming directly from the story. So we know that they're all going to be there, but we need to find which one of these is best supported by the photograph. So what do you need to do? You need to go back and you need to look at that photograph. Now that you've examined that photograph, I'm going to read the question again along with the answer choices. Which sentence from the text is best supported by the photograph? F, Hook was known for her original designs using reused materials. G, Hook's home included a railroad bridge that once stretched across the Kansas River. H, these materials were collected on site. J, Hook's personal style included arched windows and interior doorways that brought a natural feel to indoor spaces. Again, make sure that you're writing down your proof and highlighting keywords. Moving on to number 3. The words to know sidebar included with the text helps the reader understand. So it's that sidebar that we labeled. All it's asking is, why was it included? What does it do for us as a reader? Go back and take a look at that sidebar one more time. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read the answer choices to you. So the sidebar helps the reader understand A, meanings of words that may be unfamiliar to the reader. B, descriptions of different styles of architecture. C, explanations of the processes described in the text. D, terms often used by architects in the past. I apologize, that was Jax in the background trying to get my attention. But make sure that you are highlighting your keywords in your answer choices because there are several in here. Remember, just one word can make an answer correct or incorrect. So please make sure you're doing that. Once you have written down your proof and you've highlighted your keywords, then you are complete. Make sure that you do C. And by C, I mean check in RNAG RQPC. Once you have done check, then you will go ahead and check it off. That concludes today's lesson. As a reminder, you are going on quizzes. The link should be below this video, and you are now submitting your answers through there. If you have any problems accessing the link, then just have your parents text me or message me on Remind and we'll get it figured out. Thanks guys, have a great weekend. Stay safe.
Hey guys, happy Friday. So first we're gonna get started with some notes, and then we're gonna go into something a little bit more interesting. You guys are going to see me solving a problem that I had in my own home. Just want to say I'm super proud of you guys, and good job this week. I mean, you guys totally killed it. So let's just keep that going for next week. Keep sending in your work, and let's go and get started with the note.
Alrighty, so today we're going to focus on going up and down the conversions of distance in the customary system. So we're going to write the customary system, and we're going to focus on going from my 1 yard, which equals 3 feet, which equals 36 inches. We want to go up and down from the yards to the inches, from the inches to the yard. And what I want you guys to realize here is what the breakdown is. From here, from this 1 yard, I can break it into 3 rulers. 1, 2, 3 rulers. That's why it says equals 3 feet. Now from the 3 feet, each foot is 12 inches. So 12 inches, 12 inches, 12 inches. Now 12, 12, and 12 equals 36. That's the breakdown of that. I could break these up, each ruler, into 12, 12, and 12. All of these things end up in the same place. I want you guys to look at this model and think about it this way. If I want to go from yards to inches, I have to break it down twice. Why? Because I have to convert the yards first into feet before I get them to inches. If I want to get it from yards to feet, I just have to break it down once. Now if I'm at feet and I want to get them to inches, I break it down once. Now let's work on doing some together. I'm going to write 2 yards. And I want to get them to feet, and then I want to get them to inches. We're going to go up and down, up and down. For this one, we're going to go up. So 2 yards. Each yard has 3 feet. So as we learned this week, we have to multiply 2 times 3. 2 times 3 equals 6. So 2 yards equals 6 feet. Now how many inches are in 6 feet? Well, you're going to break this down 12. You can do your lattice method, but for right now, I'm just going to tell you the answer. 6 times 12 equals 72. That's 72 inches. So 2 yards equals 6 feet. You could also just say 2 yards equals 72 inches. Now let's go backwards. So I'm going to write 48 inches. And I want to get those 48 inches all the way back into yards. So instead of multiplying, I'm going to be dividing. So I'm going to divide into feet, and then I'm going to divide the feet into yards. So 48 inches. I'm going to divide my 48 into 12, because 12 inches equals 1 foot. Here on top, here on the bottom. 12, 24, 36, 48. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is one we had already done in the past. That equals 48 inches. That's 4 feet. Now I need to break this up or convert the feet back into yards. How do I do that? I divide 4 divided by 3 because there's 3 feet in 1 yard. Can't do that. Just 1. So I want you guys to look at what's going on here. We have 1 yard because it takes 3 feet to create the yard, and then we have 1 foot left over. So the way that I want you guys to write this down is like this: 1 yard and 1 foot. You cannot write 1 or and 0.1 or anything like that. Another way that you can write it is, remember how we used to convert improper fractions into mixed numbers? Well, you can do the same thing here. Because we divided and a fraction is a division problem, you can divide 4 divided by 3, and you can look at it as a improper fraction, 4 divided by 3. Now when you convert that improper fraction into a mixed number, you're going to get 1 whole and 1/3. So that can also be written like this. If you don't want to write foot, you can write 1 and 1/3 of a yard. Why? Because a foot is 1/3 of a yard.
Okay, so now I'm gonna let you in on my issue that I have at home and how I solved it, and it's a pretty simple one, and then we're gonna go and do some problems together. So let's go get started. So the issue is this terrible window. Why is this window an issue? Because it lets way too much light inside. So around this time of day, the sun comes out and it hits this part of the house, and it makes this entire room way too hot for me to work. So what I want to solve for is how long does my curtain rod need to be in order to cover this window. And I have my yardstick right here, and this is not a lesson on practicality. I should probably use a measuring tape, but because I wanted you guys to see an actual yardstick, I'm gonna try to measure it with it. And just so you guys know, the issue is actually that when I looked on Amazon, some of the curtain rods were measured in inches, some of them were measured in feet, so it's kind of hard to know what those distances are because they're not measuring in the same length. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the distance of the window in yards, and I'm going to convert it from yards to feet into inches, and that way when I'm searching through Amazon and seeing which one I should buy to fit that window, it's not a problem. It's the same distance. So let's go and get started. This corner, I'm gonna use a sticky note to mark where I stopped that measurement. Again, I could probably do this easier by using a tape measure, but I have a a yardstick instead. So I'm gonna start right here. Obviously, my curtain rod needs to be longer than a yard. I'm gonna set my sticky note right here just so it can tell me where I stopped. So that's 1 yardstick and about 23 inches. Ooh, and just for clarification, this yardstick has 36 inches. Look, it goes all the way to 12. That's where one ruler would be, from 1 to 12. And then another 12 would be 24, that would be another ruler, and it just keeps measuring all the way to 36 inches, which is 3 rulers. So 36 inches are in 1 yardstick. That is the length of 3 rulers. When I measured my window, the second part stopped right there at 23 inches.
Okay, so just to recap, the distance of my window was 1 whole yardstick and about 23 inches. Now, I do want to say that just so you guys know, this is not the only way to convert. There's many other ways that you guys can there's many other ways for you to critically solve for these conversions, but this is the basic outline of how to do it. Now, you can go whichever way you want. From the yard, I need to get it to feet first. So when I break this yard up into feet, I'm gonna get 1, 2, 3. So that means that in this yardstick, I have 3 feet and 23 inches. So this is equivalent to 3 feet and 23 inches. Again, we're still not at all inches, so I need to convert these 3 feet into 23 inches. Well, in 3 feet, you have 12 inches. So I'm going to break this up into 3 feet into 12s. 1 foot, 12 inches. 2 feet, 12 inches. 3 feet, 12 inches. 12 times 3 is 36. 36 plus the 23 inches that we have above. 6 plus 3 is 9. 3 plus 2 is 5. That means, guys, that I can buy a curtain rod that is 59 inches long, and it's going to fit my window. Okay, so I'm here on my Amazon app. I put curtain rod, and you guys can see that one right there It's not gonna, that 72 inches to 144. But the best one is probably gonna be that 48 inches to 88 inches, because I need it to cover at least 59 inches, and I can make that a little bit shorter if I need be. So this is the one that I'm probably gonna buy.
Okay, so pay close attention, because this is going to be exactly like your assignment. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna convert yards into feet and then into inches. So our first problem is going to require for you to convert 5 yards into feet and then inches. If I'm going too fast, pause the video, write something down, whatever I've written down, and then continue. So in order to get it to feet, I need to think about my conversion rules. Well, 1 yardstick carries 3 feet. So if I have 5 yardsticks, I have 5 groups of 3. So I multiply 5 times 3, which equals 15. 15 feet. Now to get it to inches, I need to think that 1 foot carries a group of 12 inches. So I have here 15 groups of 12. I'm going to use my handy dandy lattice method to multiply 15 times 12. It's going to be 1, 2, 5 and 10, and 0, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 180 inches. Now your next problem is going to start you off at 72 feet. Now the way that this one's different is that you're gonna have to go backwards and ahead. I wanted to get it to yards, and then I wanted to get it to inches. Well, that's an N. That's just a big ugly N. Anyway, so 72. Let's do what the easier one, which I think it's easier to multiply sometimes than divide. So I want to get it to inches. Again, from our last problem, there's 12 inches in a foot. So if I have 72 feet, I have 72 groups of 12. So I multiply to get this way, right? Again, my handy dandy lattice method. If I'm going too fast, pause it, do the lattice method, and then just play this again to see if you're doing it correctly. So it's going to be 2, 4, 7, and 14. Okay, so let's go ahead and add. We have 4, 4, 5, 6. This is 8. So there's 864 inches and 72 feet. Now to get the 72 feet into yards, you're going backwards. Look at this arrow. It's going this way to multiply. So if I'm going backwards, I'm going to be required to divide. So I'm going to divide by whatever my conversion is between yards and feet. What is the relationship between yards and feet? Well, there are 3 feet in a yard. So I'm going to break those 72 into groups of 3. It's going to be 1 for this one. 3, 6, 9, 2, 3, 4, 14 yards. Now I made a huge mistake on this one. If you guys notice that we circled the 6, which is the second one, so it's 1, 2, and I put 1. Sorry guys. 24, so it's actually 24 yards. This is where Elijah would be like, what? What are you doing? So shout out to you, Elijah. I made a mistake like always. Okay, so this is the lowdown. 24 yards equals 72 feet. 72 feet equals 864 inches. 864 inches equals 24 yards. 72 feet equals 24 yards. This goes either way you want it to go. You can also say 24 yards equals 864 inches. This is the last one before your assignment. So here we go. We're gonna go from 84 inches into feet and into yards.
So we're only going this way. Now we're going backwards, follow your arrow. Look, our last arrow going backwards, we were required to divide. We're going to divide, but we're going to divide thinking of the relationship between the conversions that we're looking at. So we're looking at inches and feet. What is that relationship? Well, there's 12 inches and 1 foot. So if I have 84 of those, I have to divide by 12, not by 3. That's the relationship between feet and yards. So be careful about that. So 12, 0 on top, 0 on the bottom. 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, and finally 84. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 feet. Now again, going from inches to feet, we have to divide. We're gonna have to divide again, but we're gonna have to divide something different. The relationship between feet and yards is not 12, it's 3. So I'm gonna break 7 into groups of 3. Now if you look at it as an improper fraction, this is going to turn into a mixed number, because remember, improper fractions quantify anything bigger than 1. So 3, 6, 9, we're going to circle this one. It's going to be 2, 6, 1. So what we have here is 2 holes and 1/3. 2 holes and 1/3 of a yard. Okay, here are your 3 problems. Number 1, 6 yards. I want you to convert that into feet. I gave you a huge clue on the top with that arrow, and then I want you to convert those feet into inches. Again, huge clue on top. Number 2, I gave you 60 feet. I want you to convert it into yards. Look at that clue on top with that arrow, and then I want you to convert it into inches. And the last one, I gave you 96 inches, and I want you to convert those into feet and then into yards. Think about what the relationship is between the inches and the feet into yards, and look back at your notes if you have to. Send it to the following number. Here we go. This is Mr. Villegas's Google phone number. So this is where I'm collecting all of your work and replying with your grade. So send this to this phone number as soon as you get done. Thank you guys. Again, super proud of you guys for keeping up with your work. All right guys, this is Mr. Ibarra's lesson. So here you go.
Guys, how y'all doing? I hope y'all doing well. Here's our 3rd lesson for this week, for Friday. And we're going to continue with our conversions. Vamos a seguir con la convirtiendo yardas a pies y pies a pulgadas. Y vamos a empezar con la primera pregunta, que va a ser el número 1. En este modelo, en esta regla que tengo aquí, esta es una yarda. Y se lo quiero entre 3 pedazos. Sé que cada pedazo va a ser un pie, y en cada pie va a ser 12 pulgadas, en que una yarda tiene 3 pies, y 3 pies van a ser 36 pulgadas, en que una yarda me va a dar 36 pulgadas. Ok, aquí voy a empezar con 48 pulgadas. Ahora necesito que moverme con la mano izquierda, para acá. Ahora, usted necesita que saber que lo podemos mover para la izquierda y para la derecha. Ahora, para ir para la izquierda, bonita que dividir. En que 48 pulgadas, ahora necesito que encontrar qué tantos pies. Pues voy a empezar con 48 por 12, porque en cada pie hay 12 pulgadas. Okay, 12 va en 48, 4 veces, 4 por 12 es 48, en que me va a dar 4 pies. Ahora, yo sé que tengo 3 pies en cada yarda, en que bonita que dividir por 3 entre 4. 3 va a ir en 4 una vez, 1 por 3 es 3, me queda 1, 1 y un tercer. Ahora, para irme de yardas a pies a pulgadas, ahorita hay que multiplicar. Yo sé que cada yarda tiene 3 pies, pues 2 por 3 me va a dar 6 pies. Y yo sé que en cada pie tengo 12 pulgadas, en que 12 por 6 va a ser 62 pulgadas. Ahora quiero que me hagan estos 3 problemas de yardas, pies, pulgadas. Aquí les di las yardas, aquí les di los pies, necesitan que darme las yardas y las pulgadas, y aquí les doy las pulgadas, necesitan que darme los pies y las yardas. Buena suerte y tengan buen fin de semana.
All right, send your work for Mr. Ibarra 210-802-6944. Mándenle el trabajo al señor Ibarra al número 210-802-6944.